Thanks for joining us on the program, everyone. Tonight, Nigeria is at the defining point, and the Commander-in-Chief has declared that what many say is long overdue, a nationwide security emergency. President Tinubu is not only ordering massive recruitment into the army and police, is also urging the National Assembly to begin the process for state police and directing headers across the country to embrace ranching, end open grazing and surrender illegal firearms as part of a new push he says will leave no hiding place for terrorists. These directives come amid some of the darkest security moments in recent weeks. Just yesterday in Niger State, bandits struck again. They abducted farmers, raided communities barely kilometers from a military base. And this is on the heels of last week's abduction of more than 300 students in Papari. And now a new video released by the bandits claims the government didn't rescue the Kebbi schoolgirls, but negotiated with them. All of this fuels a growing national anxiety and a burning question: why are these groups still operating so freely? Opposition voices are also punching hard. Former Vice President Atiku Abubakar says the return of the Kebbi girls is not a victory, but a damning reminder that terrorists now operate freely and openly, dictating the terms. So tonight, what does this emergency really change? Joining me is National Secretary of the All Progressives Congress, Senator Ajibola Bashir. Senator Bashir, thanks for joining us on the program this evening. Well, we'll get back to that conversation. Distinguished, can you hear me?
Hello, how are you?
Great. Thank you for joining us again, Senator Bashir. What a couple of weeks it's been for Nigeria. Mr. President, as you're aware, had to cancel his trip to South Africa and Angola to oversee things himself. The rate of attacks, as we've seen it, is reminiscent of the situation in 2014. How is the APC reading and reacting to this development?
Yeah, first and foremost, we must address the matter as a matter of a party in government and not get distracted by whatever political undertone that people may want to ascribe to it. And that has been the attitude of Mr. President and our party. And that made it very important for us to begin to address what are the dysfunctionality in our security architecture and the way to address it. And when you look at the statement by the Mr. President and action that has been proposed, it shows that the president is looking towards addressing the root cause of the problem of insecurity, and at the same time to also ensure that we address the fundamental challenge in the over-centralized security architecture of our country. Now, Mr. President is talking about having a legal framework to establish state police and, of course, expanding the capacity in terms of personnel of the Nigerian police by ensuring that those that are not engaging in actual policing but being bodyguard, so to say, to political functionaries, government officials, and other dignitaries are removed so that they're able to face the primary work of the Nigerian police, which is that of policing, the country. And of course, expand the capacity of the security and civil defense in Nigeria.
Absolutely. The president is urging the National Assembly to begin work on state police. Better late than never. But, some have said, why did it take a national emergency and multiple mass kidnappings before the ruling party fully embraced this? It's a conversation we've had for so long, and I'm sure you agree that if we had it earlier, perhaps it would have made the situation better.
I can't hear you.
Well, I'm saying that why did the ruling party wait for this long before embracing the state police idea, following Mr. President's call on the National Assembly to begin to work on state police? Some would say that, some are asking, why did we have to wait to a time of national emergency and multiple mass kidnappings?
That cannot be correct to say that we're just talking about the idea of state policing. If you check very well, since the inception of office of Mr. President, he has addressed, the nation and has spoken to the need to decentralize the architecture of security. So it's not, really the case that we waited for the exacerbation of, the situation in the security sector. You will also know that the unfortunate, pronouncement by the President of the United States also possibly emboldened this, irresponsible and criminal element to increase the wave of attack. So we must be able to situate that in that context. And it's quite very intriguing that this recent wave of attack came in the wake of that statement by the President of the United States. And of course, the need to address security in any society is a continuous challenge, is a continuous need. Just a matter of hours ago, we also read of even National Guard members being attacked in the precinct of the White House. So it's a continuous challenge that the APC and our government is addressing. And then when you also discover that since inception of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, there has been significant improvement in addressing the different manifestations of insecurity in Nigeria, the IPOB unknown government issue in the southeast, the Lukarawa Boko Haram issues in the northeast and part of the northwest, and of course the banditry issue had been addressed, and quite a number of these criminal elements have been neutralized, and some of them, their base had actually been, depleted.
We've seen the body language of this government and the many engagements that Mr. President has had, but Nigerians still have a lot of questions. We saw another attack in Niger yesterday, just kilometers from a military base. How do bandits still operate so freely? They abducted farmers in broad daylight and escaped untouched despite army presence in that corridor. Does that baffle you?
The corridor you mentioned, Nifemi, if you talk about kilometers is not even in terms of meters. I think we must be able to get the fact that even when you look at the way Mr. President has addressed the issue, when you are dealing with conventional attack and conventional warfare, it's quite different when you are dealing with criminal element engaging in act of banditry. They always look for soft targets. Soft target means areas that they don't know possibly that they could do an attack and immediately disappear. So the question of, when you look at the fastness of the Nigerian state in terms of geography and in terms of expanse of land, this criminal element make use of this opportunity to be able to do this attack cowardly and then run away. So to say that things are not being done is not correct, but that we need to do more. Definitely we must do more as a government. It is not for us to find excuses, but for us to continue to act responsibly and address the needs that the security challenges we are facing in Nigeria require.
In the case of Kebbi and Niger, we are told that there were intelligence reports that had warned of those attacks. In Niger, for instance, military personnel reportedly were even at the school and left just some hours before the attack. It brings to mind again the question of the strength of our intel and how coordinated we are in fighting this battle. But I'd like to get your reaction to what Atiku Abubakar has said. He mentioned that the release of the Kebbi girls is not victory, but proof that terrorists now dictate terms while the government issues statements to save face. What's your direct response to that?
I think quite irresponsible of Alhaji Atiku Abubakar, and quite irresponsible of somebody who has had the privilege of holding the office of the Vice President of Federal Republic of Nigeria, politicizing issue of insecurity and issue of that magnitude that affected the psyche and the psychology of a large number of Nigerian families. So I would say that I would not want to dignify a personality that has led the inordinate hunger for power to becloud his sense of patriotism with whatever he might have said. In fact, there is this saying generally in the social media now that people in the league of Atiku Abubakar and their cohort, they actually pray that Nigeria should go by way of Armageddon so that they can score cheap political points in that regard. What has happened is that the issues that occur in Eruku, the one in Kebbi and the Niger, were promptly being addressed. I did as well whatever activities were involved to be able to do so. We were able to see a significant difference with the approach that occurred with the Chibok girls who are still whose disappearance are still shrouded in mystery today, and the prompt action of the Nigerian security forces and the Nigerian government in ensuring the safe return of these children. So if he cannot see anything positive about it, and the only thing it looks about is to seek to prop up his dwindling popularity, is almost odious, political, profile, that is well be, the what a person like Atiku Abubakar has reduced himself to in the annal of Nigerian political history. And Nigerians will remember that when it mattered most, people decided to prioritize their own personal political aspiration over the willing aspirations and the general interest and welfare of the Nigerian people.
Politics aside, Senator Bashir, there are very important questions here. The release of the worshippers in Kwara and the girls in Kebbi is prayer answered for many Nigerians. But Nigerians who are also patriotic and who also want this administration to succeed are asking important questions. For instance, a new video released by the Bandits claims the government did not rescue the Kebbi schoolgirls but negotiated. Has this government been negotiating with the Bandits?
You see, whether you say negotiated, whether you said they were released, the most important thing is that for the first time, within a matter of days, we were able to get those people who have abducted to be released. And even international, even well-advanced security organizations, well-advanced country evolve different strategy and different program to be able to address security challenges. So for people to reduce this issue to issue of was ransom paid, was there negotiation, were they released voluntarily or not, I think that's beyond the question. The question is that actions were taken and then we have seen results. The result everybody is looking for is the safe return of the hapless people who have been abducted by these criminal elements. So for us, it's a situation whereby we have been able to resolve the problem at hand.
The basic logic here, distinguished, is that if the culprits are not brought to justice, the possibility of the attack happening again is high. We've seen that in Niger. We are hearing reports of some abduction in Abuja just today. People were killed in Kwara. Shouldn't they be brought to justice? If the challenge was that they had the girls with them, we have the girls back. Why are we not attacking them? Why are we not bringing them to justice? Are you saying these are not relevant questions to be asked?
If you have children in custody of bandits, you go and throw bombs.
That's what I'm saying. In the case of Kebbi, we have gotten them back, right?
Just enough for us to make statement. We must be able to look at the peculiar nature of banditry, peculiar nature of atrocious activity of this nature. Issue of banditry is different from simple criminality of somebody committing an offense and you go to his house to arrest him, charge him to court, and then you'll be able to now prosecute. So the question of measure of justice that is being required must be situated within the context of the peculiarity and the challenges of the problem of banditry. You go back and go and read about their history. How have they been able to use the conventional method of justice system to be able to tackle the menace of the Irish Republican Army in the United Kingdom? Similarly, some other criminal bandits attacking state organizations in a non-conventional manner, how to address in those peculiar manner. The earlier we see this and then begin to address it in those manner, then we'll be able to have solution to the problem we have at hand. Banditry, insurgency are peculiar act of criminality that require better tactics and way to address it rather than conventional thinking of justice. How do you begin to say you want to go and sweep on people who are holding hapless children on hostage in order to be able to prove a point that you are not weak or that you want to show bravado. We must act responsibly in a way that ensures the safety and safe return of our people.
And I understand the non-conventional narrative, right? But in the case of Kebbi, the girls have been released. Then there's nothing stopping us to attack, because if the narrative is that security operatives made that happen, it means that they probably know where they are. So if the girls are no longer there, there is nothing holding us back to attacking them. If people were killed in a church, they should be brought to justice. It's difficult to see the sustainability of this operation without corporates being brought to justice. And I need you to show me how it's been done in other crimes. For instance, just a minute, Senator. Just a minute, Senator. Just a minute, distinguished. Why, for instance, has it been difficult to track bandits who upload videos online when Nigerians who have done lesser crimes online have been apprehended?
You see, it's easier to. I don't want to talk. Nifemi, you are a professional, and I'm also a professional. I'm a legal practitioner. I don't want to go to a field that I'm not schooled in. I'm not trained as a security expert. I'm not trained as somebody who is well equipped in surveillance and monitoring. So I will not go into that issue of how easy it is. And I also want not to second guess our Nigerian security agencies that they are not up and responsible, that if it is that easy for them to track, trace, monitor, and arrest, they will not do so. But I wouldn't want to go into details of an area that I lack the requisite expertise and the professionalism.
Yeah, absolutely, and I understand and I agree with you perfectly. But the bottom line is also the need for this administration to communicate a strategy clearly to Nigerians so that it doesn't leave gaps for insinuations. We have also spoken with security experts here this week on this program who have said that there is technology to track people online. There's technology to track if you are posting, you are showing. Some of these bandits even have live feeds, taking comments from Nigerians online. And they said there's a way to go about, there's a technology to track them. Many Nigerians believe, for instance, that there is internal sabotage, leaks, informants, and collusion. And I just want to know if your party concedes that internal compromise is part of why these bandits keep succeeding.
I wouldn't know, and I wouldn't want to comment on the profile of the so-called security experts. But I would also want to say that when you are dealing with a systematic act of criminality that is peculiar, like that of insurgency, I think you don't bring conventional approach to the issue. Then on the issue of second guessing, the competence and the commitment of our Nigerian security agencies, I will also not join anybody in spinning that narrative at any level. They are responsible, and people have been responsive, and people is unfortunate that when this occur, you are measured not by the sources you have made, but by those that have slipped in your hand. So many successes and triumphs of the Nigerian security agencies and security operatives are easily swept off the carpet and not given necessary commendation because of these slips that naturally has occurred in recent time. But I would say that in the past 2 years, the Nigerian security agencies, they have given a high account of themselves and their commitment to secure Nigeria. And of course, we need to do more. And that was why the president has said we have declared a state of emergency in Nigerian security sector by ensuring that we increase personnel. We also look at the legal framework to decentralize security architecture in Nigeria.
In addition to the national emergency in security, Mr. President yesterday also asked headers to embrace ranching, the need for them to end open grazing and surrender illegal weapons. Is this an order or an appeal? What enforcement mechanism exists to ensure compliance here?
You see, the question of embracing ranching, and of course, what the president is doing is to go back to what has been done in the past. And that is possibly ensuring that grazing reserves are utilized for the purpose of livestock development. And that, of course, has necessitated the setting up of the Ministry of Livestock Development. There are different levels of engagement, which could be political, and then being able to tackle issue of criminal elements that are involved in this regard. But when you have a widespread practices that have spanned over decades, if not possibly centuries, tackling and addressing that issue is not somebody that you just do with as a matter of dealing with a military viat, or just what you have said, a directive. I think is a continuous engagement of the farmers, the others, and of course the different communities that are engaged in ensuring that we'll be able to do livestock development in the context of peace and not jeopardizing security of the people in the neighborhood.
The president also, prior to that statement yesterday, ordered withdrawal of VIP police escorts. We've seen some reactions from the National Assembly. Do you think that APC politicians, including your key office holders, will fully comply with this order?
It's not a question of whether they comply. The moment the police authority issues signal to those that are serving as so to say, bodyguards to politicians and the government officials, the relevant police personnel don't have any choice than to respond to that signal. So I want to encourage the IGP to immediately implement and ensure that necessary signals are sent to those security operatives so that they could be able to go back to their normal responsibility. And I think that directive of Mr. President has also given a fistart for development of private security business in Nigeria. So we want to also encourage Nigerians who have experience in VIP protection to utilize this opportunity to register companies ordered with the Ministry of Interior so that they can be able to utilize this atmosphere. And we want to also encourage our politicians and of course top VIPs, businessmen to engage the instrumentality of the superior police, which has always been part of the extant law, by which the Nigerian police can help you train your security personnel and have necessary expertise to be able to perform the role of bodyguard and private security.
Distinguished, we have to go now. The president said Nigerians must not give in to fear, but fear is real. Just I think it was yesterday or the day before that we got conflicting reports from the Federal Capital Territory Administration whether to close schools or not to. And then we understand that someone was suspended in the mix. What is one concrete assurance you can give tonight that this emergency is not just another political declaration at a time where Nigerians are afraid to send their children to school? What assurance is this administration giving and your party wants to give Nigerians who fear for their life?
I think in the past 2 years of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu administration, one thing has been made clear, and that is commitment to take decisions to benefit the generality of the Nigerian people and not shine away from taking responsibility to act in a way that will be able to advance the interests of the Nigerian people. Just as been done in other sectors, the Nigerian government under President Bola Ahmed Tinubu and our party, the APC, is committed to tackling the root causes and immediate causes of the insecurity in Nigeria and ensure that we live up to our responsibility of ensuring security and welfare of the Nigerian people, which is a responsibility given to us by the Nigerian Constitution. I want to assure Nigerian people that the party and the government of President Bola Tinubu were not resting on our horse in ensuring that all needed to be done in addressing the problem of insecurity in this country.
Nigerians are counting on that. National Secretary of the All Progressives Congress, Senator Ajibola Bashir, when all of this calm down, we're going to invite you again and talk Osun politics. Perhaps you share with us why you've stepped down from that race. Distinguished.
I have a responsibility to my party.
All right. That's our show today. Thank you so much for coming. You can watch it again at midnight and at 6 a.m. tomorrow. I am Nifemi Oguntoye. See you again soon.